are 5 words in English that give away an accent faster than almost anything else. Not hard words, not rare words, words you already use every single day.
I've watched it happen in real conversations. Someone speaks fluent, confident English for 10 minutes straight, and then they say one of these 5 words, and something shifts in the other person's face. Not judgment exactly, just a quiet little flag going up. Oh, English isn't their first language.
And the frustrating part is, it's not because these words are actually difficult. It's because the spelling lies to you. English spelling makes you want to say them one way, and native speakers say them a completely different way, and nobody ever stops to explain the gap.
Today we're closing that gap completely. 5 words, exactly how Americans actually say them, why the mistake happens in the first place, how to practice each one until it's automatic, and full conversations so you hear them used naturally, not in isolation.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Mr. Daily English Podcast. I'm Michael.
And I'm Amelia. Before we start, I want to say something important, and I mean this seriously. Having an accent is not a flaw. It's not something to be ashamed of. It means you speak more than one language, which most people on this planet never manage to do in their entire lives.
Completely agree. This episode isn't about erasing your accent or making you sound like someone you're not. It's about a handful of specific words where the standard American pronunciation is so different from the spelling that even confident English speakers get caught off guard by them. Fixing these 5 words alone can genuinely change how easily people understand you in daily conversation, in meetings, on phone calls, ordering food, all of it.
And here's something worth understanding before we even start. Most of these mispronunciations aren't random. They almost always come from doing something completely logical, reading the word exactly as it's spelled. English just doesn't reward that logic the way other languages do. So if you've been saying any of these wrong, it's not because you weren't paying attention. It's because you were paying very close attention to the spelling, which happens to be the wrong place to look.
So let's go word by word. For each one, we'll look at the spelling trap, the real sound, why the mistake happens, several example sentences, and a short conversation using that word specifically. Then at the very end, we'll bring all 5 together in one longer conversation.
Get ready to say these out loud with us. Actually move your mouth, don't just listen. Pronunciation only improves when the muscles get involved, not just the ears.
First word, vegetable. Let's look at the spelling for a second. V-E-G-E-T-A-B-L-E. If you sound that out letter by letter, the way most languages would expect you to, you'd get something like vegetable. 4 full, clearly separated syllables.
But that's not what Americans say at all. The real pronunciation is vegetable. 3 syllables, not 4. That middle E, the one right after the G, just disappears completely in natural speech. Nobody pronounces it. It's there on the page, and it's silent in the mouth.
This happens because English has a habit of dropping unstressed vowel sounds in the middle of longer words, especially when the word is used constantly in daily speech. The more common a word is, the more it gets worn down and compressed over time, almost like a path that gets shorter the more people walk it.
Let's build it slowly. Start with veg, like the beginning of vegetable, but stop right there. Veg. Now add ta. Vegta. Now the bull. Vegetable. Say it 3 times slowly, feeling how quickly that middle part moves.
Vegetable, vegetable, vegetable. Now speed it up into one word, vegetable.
In a sentence, I need to buy some vegetables for dinner tonight. Say that whole sentence out loud, like you're making a note.
Try another one. She doesn't eat meat. She's mostly vegetarian. She eats a lot of vegetables and grains. Notice vegetable and vegetarian share that same compressed middle. Veg disappears into veg in both words.
One more. This soup has carrots, potatoes, and other vegetables in it. Say the whole sentence at a natural, slightly quick pace, and really listen to how vegetables moves fast, almost like it's one smooth motion rather than 4 distinct beats.
Here's a short conversation using it naturally.
Hey, are you hungry? I was thinking of making dinner.
Sure, what were you planning?
Just a simple vegetable soup. I've got carrots, onions, some celery, nothing fancy.
That sounds perfect, actually. I haven't eaten enough vegetables this week.
Say that whole exchange yourself now, both parts, and pay close attention every time the word vegetable or vegetables comes up. Keep it fast and compressed. Vegetable, not vegetable.
Third word, world. This one looks simple on the page, just 5 letters, but it hides something genuinely tricky. 3 consonant sounds stacked right on top of each other at the very end. W, R, L, D, with barely any vowel support holding them apart.
A lot of learners handle this one in 2 wrong ways. Either they add an extra vowel sound in there that doesn't belong, something like were-ooled, breaking it into 2 syllables that don't exist in the real word, or they go the opposite direction and drop the L entirely, just saying word, which turns it into a completely different word with a different meaning.
The actual trick is that the R and L blend together fast, almost like one continuous motion of the tongue, not 2 separate sounds happening one after another. World. The tongue starts shaping for the R and rolls straight into the L position without a full stop or pause between them.
Let's slow it down. Start with were, like the beginning of word. Now, without stopping, let the tongue lift and finish with old. World. Try it a few times.
World, world, world. Now say it inside a sentence at natural speed. She's traveled all around the world, visiting more countries than most people ever will.
Another one. It feels like the whole world is watching right now. Everyone's paying attention to this.
One more. This could be one of the best restaurants in the world. Honestly, I've never tasted anything like it.
Here's a short conversation.
So where do you want to travel next?
Honestly, I'd love to see more of the world before I settle down anywhere permanently.
That's a great goal. Is there anywhere specific on your list?
A few places, but really I just want to keep exploring. There's so much of the world I haven't seen yet.
Say that conversation out loud, both parts, and pay attention to how world stays short and clipped at the end. No extra vowels sneaking in, and no L disappearing either.
Fourth word, and this one genuinely surprises people the first time they hear it broken down clearly. Wednesday. Look closely at the spelling. Wednesday. There's a D sitting right after the first syllable, right between the wed and the ness.
Nobody says that D. Nobody. Not in casual speech, not in formal speech, not ever. In normal fast conversation. The actual pronunciation is Wednesday. That first D is completely silent, gone, as if it was never written there at all.
This is one of those words that carries a piece of its history in the spelling, but not in the sound. The word originally came from an old reference to a certain day, and the spelling never got updated even though the pronunciation smoothed itself out over centuries of people saying it quickly. English does this constantly. The spelling freezes in time while the actual sound keeps evolving.
Let's build it. Start with wens, like wens, but with a Z sound at the end instead of an S. Wens. Now add day. Wednesday. Wednesday.
Wednesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. Say it a few times and really resist the urge to pronounce that first D, even though your eyes keep insisting it's sitting right there on the page.
In a sentence. Let's meet on Wednesday afternoon. Does that time work for you?
Another one. I have a dentist appointment this Wednesday morning, so I might be a little late to work.
One more. Every Wednesday we have a team meeting. It's become part of the regular weekly routine.
Here's a short conversation.
Are you free this week to grab lunch?
Let me check. I'm busy Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday works for me.
Perfect. Wednesday it is then. Same place as usual?
Sounds good. I'll see you Wednesday around noon.
Say that conversation yourself now, both parts, and every time Wednesday comes up, keep it at 2 smooth syllables. Wednesday. No extra sound hiding in the middle.
Fifth and final word, clothes. This one has a hidden trap most learners don't even realize exists until someone points it out. Clothes and close, as in close the door, they're spelled completely differently, but in fast, natural speech, they land almost identically.
The TH sound in clothes basically disappears in casual conversation. It's technically supposed to be clothes with a clear TH sound in the middle, but almost nobody actually says it that carefully in real daily speech. It comes out closer to close, which sounds extremely close to the word close.
This happens because clothes is a strange word structurally. It has a TH sound followed immediately by a Z sound, and that combination is genuinely awkward to produce quickly. So over time, in fast, natural speech, the TH gets absorbed and mostly disappears, leaving just the Z sound behind.
Let's build it. Start with close, like the beginning of close. Now add the Z sound at the end. Close, clothes.
Close, close, close. Try it a few times, letting the TH relax and almost vanish instead of forcing it.
In a sentence. I need to buy some new clothes for the winter. My old jacket isn't warm enough anymore.
Another one. Can you help me pack my clothes for the trip? I always forget something important.
One more. She was wearing really nice clothes for someone who said she wasn't trying to impress anyone.
Here's the thing, though. Native speakers know from context which word you mean, close the door or new clothes, so you genuinely don't need to force a hard, careful TH sound in there to be understood clearly. Let it relax the way natives actually say it, and trust the sentence around it to carry the meaning.
Here's a short conversation.
Did you end up buying anything for the trip?
Yeah, I picked up some new clothes, mostly warmer stuff. I heard it's cold there.
Smart. I always forget how cold it gets and end up buying clothes when I arrive instead.
Same. Last time I basically bought a whole new wardrobe the first day I landed.
Say that conversation yourself now, both parts, and notice how clothes comes out quick and relaxed. Clothes, not a slow, careful clothes.
Now let's hear all 5 words together in a longer, natural conversation, the way they'd actually come up across a normal day, not lined up artificially one after another.
Hey, are we still meeting on Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday works for me. Actually, can we meet at my place instead? These shoes aren't very comfortable and I want to change into something else before we go anywhere.
Sure, no problem. Did you end up buying new clothes for the trip yet?
I did, actually. Mostly warmer stuff. I also picked up some vegetables on the way home. I'm making dinner before we head out tonight.
That sounds great. What are you making?
Just a simple vegetable soup, nothing fancy, but it's comforting, especially with this weather.
Honestly, after everything we've been doing lately, I feel like I've seen half the world already this year.
Same here, and it's only Wednesday. The week isn't even close to being over yet.
Say that whole conversation out loud now, both roles, slowly first so you can feel each word individually, and then again at a natural, faster speed. Really listen for how each of those 5 words moves quickly instead of dragging out each syllable the spelling suggests it should have.
Here's something worth sitting with for a moment before we wrap up. These 5 words aren't rare or advanced vocabulary. They're some of the most common words in daily English, which means you'll say them constantly at work, at home, ordering food, making plans.
And that's exactly why fixing them matters so much more than fixing some obscure word you'll use twice a year. Every single time you say vegetable, comfortable, world, Wednesday, or clothes correctly, it's one less moment where a listener's brain quietly flags you as foreign before they've even processed what you actually said.
This isn't about hiding where you're from. It's about removing friction from communication, so people are listening to your ideas instead of getting distracted by 5 specific sounds that don't match what they expect to hear.
And the good news is, unlike a full accent, which takes years of exposure to shift naturally, these 5 words can genuinely change within a week or 2 of focused practice, because you're not relearning an entire sound system, you're just correcting 5 specific, well-known trouble spots.
So there they are: vegetable, comfortable, world, Wednesday, and close. 5 words, 5 small gaps between spelling and speech, and now you know exactly where those gaps are and exactly how to close them.
None of this requires you to change how you sound overall, and it definitely doesn't mean erasing your accent. Just these 5 specific words practiced a little every day until they come out automatically instead of being sounded out letter by letter in your head.
Tell us in the comments, which one of these 5 did you personally used to say differently? We read every single comment, and it genuinely helps us know what to cover in future episodes.
Practice the conversations again later today, out loud, not just in your head. Say them until they stop feeling like a lesson and start feeling like something you'd actually say to a friend.
And don't forget to keep practicing, one word at a time.
See you in the next episode.